Imagine this. You work full-time. You save for 5 years. You do everything right. And you still can't afford a house. That's not a nightmare. That's the reality for millions of Americans in 2026. The average home in America right now costs $436,000. Mortgage rates? Still above 6%. And wages? They grew half as fast as home prices over the last 5 years. So, is the American dream of owning a home officially dead? Or is 2026 actually a hidden opportunity that most people are missing? Today, we're going deep into the U.S. housing market, the real numbers, the real risks, and the real answer to one question. Should you buy a house right now? Let's start with the cold, hard numbers. In March 2026, the median home price in the U.S. hit $436,412. That's a 1.1% increase from last year. Sounds small, right? But remember, just 6 years ago, that same house cost around $290,000. That's a 50% increase in home prices since 2020. Meanwhile, the average American salary only grew by 29%. You do the math. Now, mortgage rates. As of April 23rd, 2026, the 30-year fixed mortgage rate is 6.23%. That's actually the lowest it's been in 3 spring seasons. A year ago, it was 6.81%. 2 years ago, over 7%. But here's the problem. Even at 6.23%, on a $400,000 to $36,000 home with a 10% down payment, your monthly mortgage payment is around $2,600 every single month, before taxes, before insurance, before any repairs. Why aren't rates falling faster? Because inflation came back. In March 2026, the Consumer Price Index jumped to 3.3% year over year, the highest spike since June 2022. And as long as inflation stays high, the Fed won't cut rates aggressively, which means mortgage rates stay stuck. But here's something that almost nobody is talking about. For the first time in years, buyers have the power. According to Redfin, sellers now outnumber buyers by 43% across the entire country. This is officially a buyer's market. What does that actually mean for you? It means sellers are getting desperate. The average home sat on the market for 64 days in January 2026, the longest in 6 years. Sellers are cutting prices, offering to pay closing costs, throwing in appliances. Remember during COVID, when homes were selling in 24 hours above asking price? That world is gone. There are currently 1.9 million homes for sale across the U.S. That's enough supply to last 3 full months, which is approaching a balanced market. So, yes, prices are still high, but for the first time in years, you can actually negotiate. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The U.S. housing market isn't one market. It's dozens of completely different markets. And something unexpected is happening right now. The cities that were booming, the Sun Belt, Austin, Nashville, San Antonio, prices are falling there. Austin, Texas, sellers outnumber buyers by 114%. San Antonio, 106%. Nashville, 104%. But the Rust Belt, cities like Milwaukee, Detroit, Cleveland, prices there are actually going up. Why? Because those cities never got overbuilt. There's genuine shortage, and remote workers who used to flee these cities are coming back. The lesson? Where you buy matters more than when you buy. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Unemployment. In March 2026, the U.S. unemployment rate dropped slightly to 4.3%. That sounds okay, but dig deeper, and the picture is darker. the economy added only 14,000 jobs per month on average recently. Compare that to 122,000 per month in 2024. The job market has basically frozen, and some economists are now putting the chance of a full recession in 2026 at 50%. Trump's tariffs have already hurt consumer confidence. The stock market dropped, wiping out savings people were using for down payments. The cost of building materials is up, which means fewer new homes will be built. So, what happens to housing if unemployment keeps rising? Here's the paradox that most people don't expect. If unemployment rises sharply, yes, demand for homes falls. Some people lose their homes. Prices could dip in certain markets. But if a recession hits hard enough, the Federal Reserve will cut interest rates aggressively. And when mortgage rates drop to 5%, or even 4%, suddenly millions of buyers who were sitting on the sidelines flood back into the market. Which means a recession could actually create the best buying opportunity in a decade. But there's one scenario that's truly dangerous. Stagflation. High unemployment and high inflation at the same time. Rates stay high. Jobs disappear. Prices don't fall. That's the nightmare scenario. And some economists say it's a real risk. So what do the biggest names in the industry actually predict? Redfin says home prices will grow just 1% in 2026. Basically flat. But here's what they also said. Incomes will grow faster than home prices for the first time since the financial crisis. Zillow? In April 2026, they slashed their forecast. Just 0.3% price growth. Sales up only 0.5%. JP Morgan, 0 price growth. Basically a frozen market. Morgan Stanley, slightly more optimistic, 2% growth. And the National Association of Realtors, the most bullish of all, predicts 14% more home sales in 2026. Their chief economist called it the year we finally see meaningful activity. The bottom line from all of these forecasts? Nobody expects a crash. Nobody expects a boom. 2026 is shaping up to be a year of painful, slow, grinding stabilization. Okay, so after all of that, what's the actual answer? Should you buy a house in America right now? The honest answer is, it depends on you, not the market. Here's what the experts actually say. Buy now if you have a stable income that won't disappear in a recession. You have a 10 to 20% down payment saved. You plan to stay in the home for at least 5 to 7 years. You're in a market where sellers are desperate. Austin, Nashville, Phoenix. You can handle a mortgage payment without it destroying your monthly budget. Wait if your job feels uncertain. You have less than 10% saved for a down payment. You're in a hot market where prices are still rising. You think a recession is coming, and you can wait for rates to drop. The CEO of one of America's largest real estate companies said it perfectly. We're not heading toward a crash. We're heading toward a correction defined by stability, not volatility. This is not 2008. There are no toxic mortgages, no subprime crisis. The market is slow. It's painful, but it's not collapsing. And here's the final thought I want to leave you with. The best time to buy a home has never been about the perfect market timing. It's about being financially ready, having a stable life, a clear plan. Because at the end of the day, a house isn't just an investment. It's where your life happens. If you found this video useful, subscribe. We break down the real economics of money every single week. And next week, we're covering something even bigger. Stay tuned.